The Australian Help to Buy scheme kicked off last Friday on the 5th of December. Now, if you don't already know how it works and how it's going to be a game changer for first home buyers and helping them buy a property sooner, watch this video and I'll break it down and explain everything you need to know. So, what is it? The government buys a property with you and they will pay up to 30% for an established property or up to 40% if it's a brand new property. And the main kicker is you only need a 2% deposit. Now, who is eligible with this? You got to be an Australian citizen, you got to be a first home buyer, and there's an income cap, and if you're doing it by yourself, your income can't exceed $100,000 as an individual. Now, if you're buying with someone else or buying it as a couple, your combined income can't exceed over $160,000, and this is based on your last financial year's notice of assessment, which is the document you get after you've lodged your tax returns that tells you what your taxable income for that year is and how much you'll refund or you owe the government in taxes. Now, what are the price caps? Can you just buy any price property with this scheme? No, you can't. So, in Sydney, capital cities, so it's based on different states, but I've just put down the capital cities. In Sydney, the price cap is up to 1.3 million. In Melbourne, it's 950, Brisbane, it's $1 million, and so on. Now, these are the price caps for capital cities in each state and regional centers, and the price caps outside of that for the rest of the state is a little bit lower, but all the information's on the government website, or put a comment down and I'll give you the answer. Now, who are the participating lenders that's part of this scheme where you can get your home loan from if you are using the Australian Help to Buy scheme to buy your first home? Currently, there are only 2 participating lenders. That's CBA and Bank Australia. Now, if you're using a mortgage broker, you can only go through Bank Australia because CBA is making customers go directly to them. So if you're working with a mortgage broker at the moment and you want to use this scheme through that mortgage broker, you'd have to approach CBA directly. But if your mortgage broker is working with Bank Australia, then they will be able to help you. So just keep that in mind and make sure if you're speaking to any mortgage brokers, that should be the first questions you're asking. Now let's look at an example scenario here. So if you're purchasing a property as a first home buyer for $800,000, say this is an established property, the government's going to pay up to 30% of the purchase price, which is equal to $240,000. Now, because you only need a 2% deposit, your contribution out of your savings or deposit is only $16,000. Then the rest of the money to settle on that property is going to come through a home loan via Bank Australia or CBA for $544,000. Now, once you've owned the property and you're settled, you will slowly need to buy back the government's share of the property. And the rules around that is every time you do it, you need to buy at least 5% of that share back. And what that 5% equals to is determined by a valuation at the time you're doing it. So in other words, as the property value goes up, the government's 30% share also increases. So does your 70% share of the property that you own. And if the price goes down, it's the same thing. That share goes down, or the amount that you need to buy back the government also goes down. There will be an income review every year while you're on this scheme. And the other thing is you must live in the property while the government is part of the scheme or owns part of the property. So you can't buy this and a few years later want to rent it out. Now, if you sell the property, the government will take their share of the property. If it's 30%, whatever you sold it at, the bank will take what you owe them and then you're left with the profits. So that's pretty much it. Now, the key thing is there's only 10,000 spots for the year. So make sure that you're speaking to a mortgage broker or going to the bank directly to see if you qualify, and be quick about it because nobody knows. These spots might go quickly. It is a national scheme, so it's not per state. So you want to make sure you reserve a spot, have your pre-approval so you can take advantage of the scheme and buy your property sooner.